let's get ready to make that curry. I'm going to prepare the back steaks for this. Should be nice and tender. I'm just going to be trimming it up and cutting it into cubes pretty much. So what I did is I removed the silver skin on the back and then just trimmed up any nasty pieces and then cut it into chunks. And now for goat meat, I have something interesting I do that I learned off a friend's channel. He's a food scientist, and you can add milk to help tenderize and remove the wild taste. Something in the proteins in the milk does bits and pieces. I remember when I was little we used to use buttermilk for the same reason, and yeah, I'm going to be using a bit of milk, putting it in the fridge for a couple of hours, and then come back and make my curry. So just chop some veggies for curry, onion, tomato, and instead of garlic and ginger, we're going to be using a garlic and ginger paste. So the garlic, ginger, onion, and tomato plus our spices are going to make our paste that we're going to be making the base for the curry. Okay, I'm going to start making my curry paste now. I add a good dollop of oil. I want everything to fry. I like quite a bit of oil. While I'm waiting for that to get hot, I'll show you. I keep it simple. I'm just going to be using this curry powder. This is Kingham's meat curry powder. It's pretty much got everything you need in it. If you are just making a simple curry, you can just use curry powder. It's pretty much got all the ingredients in it. If you want to read on it what it is all in there, rather than mixing all the spices individually. Onion in there. I'm going to brown it. Waiting for it to get translucent and soft. Don't have a extractor fan here, so I'll just open the windows and the doors. So before the onions brown, just when they're translucent and soft, I'm going to be adding my curry powder. Now I just guess. For me, like I'm on a couple of tablespoons. You have to sort of figure out how much you want to put. There we go. Enough for me. Now I'm going to fry this, and you'll see it dries up. The idea is you want to fry the curry powder, the spices and everything gets fried. You don't want to overdo it. So now, once it's fried like that, I will add my tomatoes to start adding a bit of liquid. I might add a little bit of pepper as well. And I'm going to add my garlic paste, a teaspoon of garlic paste, and a teaspoon of ginger paste, so half a teaspoon of ginger paste. Fry everything. Don't want to overdo the garlic frying as well, and get that in there. Fry it, and then I'm going to add my tomatoes. Fry that. I'm trying to render this down a bit, get the liquid out of the tomatoes. I don't really have a lid that fits on this, but I'll just fry this down a bit. I might cover it for a bit and simmer it. Just fry everything to a paste. Okay, well I've got this handy lid thing which fits on anything, so that should work. Then let that fry for. So the meat's been in the fridge for a while. Now what I'm going to do is pour the excess milk off. And that should have softened it quite a bit now and taken all the goat smell away. Yep, tenderized it a bit. And I leave a little bit of milk in there because it helps sort of make the curry a bit creamy. So that's nicely fried now. You can see the oil is coming out. Everything's liquefied, kind of turning into a paste. Well, I'm just going to fry the meat a little bit with this. I won't really brown it, but it just sort of, I don't know, I feel it seals the spices through this. And then I'm going to transfer it to that pot, and ideally you want a bit of stock to add. I don't know if I have any stock, and then we're going to have to cook the meat so it's tender because I do not have a pressure cooker, and that's when I'm going to add my potatoes and veggies and stuff as well. Okay, add that, and You'll see the milk will make things a little bit creamy. I'm trying quite light. Add a little bit of liquid. I'm just trying to sort of mix it in and seal the spices around it. So I'm just going to let that simmer away now for at least about 20 minutes. Then after about 20 minutes I'll add the potatoes and the capsicum slash chili thingy that I've got. It's supposed to be a capsicum, I'm not sure if it's more like a chili thing. I'll add these and let that cook for another 20 minutes while I also make the rice, which will be basmati rice. And at least 40 minutes for the meat to be tender, even though there's a backstrap. Ideally an hour probably, slow simmered to get it really tender, or a pressure cooker. Oh, and don't forget salt to taste. You really have to keep an eye on the liquid levels and how fast you're simmering it. Obviously it will burn if you run out of water. So if you don't have stock like I do, you either need to use a lot of tomatoes or some vegetables with a lot of liquid in them. That will generate some liquid. And if you've got to cook it for a long time, it's tricky to keep it, not make it like a soppy runny stew and still end up with a nice curry. But this is probably going to end up being a bit more runny because I only had the 2 little tomatoes, and we'll see. I might cook it down a little bit, reduce it a bit by the time we get there, and with the potatoes and stuff in there as well. So, but yeah, it's a very simple curry. It's nothing fancy. I am not a chef or anything like that at all, obviously, if it's not clear. But you know, I've learned a thing or two from my wife. And a family, so hopefully this turns out alright. The potato capsicum stuff. It's all covered. And then another 20 or 30 minutes. Right, so the rice is going to go in the rice cooker. Basmati rice goes well with curry. I've guesstimated a couple of cups. I've got a friend coming over later as well, so I think I'll eat some. Wash the rice 3 to 5 times. Get all the starch off. Here's the most difficult part of rice in a rice cooker: adding the right amount of water. There we go. Cover it. And a little bit more, so the first, I go about halfway up my finger, cover it, and a little bit halfway up my finger. I don't go all the way to the first section. My finger seems a bit long, but yeah, the sort of rule is to the first section, and that's it. Stick it in there, press the button. Perfect rice every time. Okay, we're nearly there. Rice is done, perfectly fluffy, and should be nice. And then we'll go to the curry. Okay, potatoes are cooked. Curry's looking good. Should be nice. It's not too runny. It's alright. Meat is tender. And yeah, I've got a friend coming over to go and eat this, but I'll do a little test batch and see how it goes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm certainly going to enjoy this goat curry. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is going to be a bit hot. That's good. Very nice. I like it.